Let me ask you something, my friend.
Do you believe in divine timing? I truly believe that you didn't arrive at this moment by chance. If this is your first time here, I feel deeply in my heart that God has brought you to this place for a reason. Perhaps you've been struggling, seeking answers, wondering how to take the next step in your financial journey. Well, this might just be the moment He has been preparing you for. Stay with me until the end, and you'll see exactly why. And for those of you who have been part of
This community for some time, could this be the sign ye've been waiting for? I've prepared something very special for ye this November, something I know has the potential to unlock doors ye've been praying would open. Let's take a moment to explore this prophetic dream together. It could hold the key to your breakthrough. Dreams are powerful, me hearties. They are more than fleeting glimpses into our subconscious minds. They serve as a direct connection to the spiritual realm, a way God communicates with us. He desires to reveal things to you, to give you insight into what lies ahead. Through dreams, God can send warnings, messages, and revelations about the enemy's plans. Life during the day is often noisy and chaotic, but in the stillness of our sleep, He speaks to us with clarity. Now, before we dive into today's dream interpretation, let me remind you of something important. Dream interpretations can vary widely. A single dream may carry different meanings for different people, depending on where they are in their lives, their circumstances, and their spiritual journey. That's why it's so crucial to approach dream interpretation with care and humility. Your dream is a personal message from God, given exclusively to you. Others may offer their thoughts or guidance, but ultimately the interpretation is between you and God. He knows the depth of the message He has given you and will help you understand its true meaning if you seek His guidance sincerely. Let me now share with you an email I received containing a dream with a powerful prophetic message. This is what it says. Dear Sister Margarita, I had a dream in which I was in a church, and the pastor's wife was sharing her testimony about how God miraculously provided money for her rent. She asked me to stand up so she could use me as an example to illustrate something. Then, she handed me an open envelope containing money and said, God can provide at any moment. You just need to see it before it arrives. Her testimony was about owing rent money to her landlord. When the payment was due, she only had a portion of the amount needed. She placed that portion in an open envelope, lifted it up in prayer every day, and trusted that God would perform a miracle. To her surprise, someone gave her the exact amount she needed, just in time. That Sunday, she shared her testimony and urged everyone, never close the case before God gives you the answer. I woke up overwhelmed with joy. I know God has spoken through this dream, and I am filled with expectancy. Wow, there's so much to unpack in this prophetic dream. It's not just a message of encouragement, but also a profound lesson on faith and perseverance. The pastor's wife's testimony is a beautiful example of unwavering trust in God. She faced a serious challenge. She needed money for rent and had no clear solution. Yet instead of succumbing to fear or doubt, she activated her faith. She took what little she had and dedicated it to God, symbolically leaving the envelope open, a gesture that declared her belief that the rest of the provision would come. Imagine the emotional weight she carried, perhaps the fear of eviction or concern for her family's well-being. Despite that, she chose to trust God. By leaving that envelope open, she made a prophetic declaration that her story wasn't over, that God was still at work. Every day, she lifted that envelope in prayer, reminding herself and God of His promises. And as the dream revealed, her faith was rewarded. Someone provided the exact amount she needed, just when she needed it. This dream is a vivid reminder for all of us. Never give up on God before He has completed His work in your life. He calls us to keep believing, keep praying, and keep waiting. The message is clear. Don't close the envelope. Don't give up on your miracle.
God is faithful and is working behind the scenes to bring about your breakthrough. Trust in his timing and know that your provision is coming, just as it did for the pastor's wife. Your miracle is.
Imagine this, your life transformed, not by grand gestures or external forces, but by the simple yet profound act of changing how you speak. Whether it's boosting your bank account, attracting love, or enhancing your health, the secret power lies in the words you choose. Most people remain oblivious to this truth, but every word that leaves your lips, whether spoken with intention or tossed out carelessly, carries immense weight. It's like magic, though not the kind conjured with wands and potions. This is the magic woven into the very language you use daily. Think of the ancient alchemists who turned base metals into. Keep the envelope open. Your answer is on its way. No challenge is too great or too small for God. Whether it's rent money, school tuition, food on the table, or resources to fuel your dreams, God has the ability to meet every single need. The most important thing is to keep your faith alive and unwavering. Never declare your situation hopeless or beyond repair. It's not over until God says it's over. You may feel overwhelmed, unsure of where help will come from, but just as the pastor's wife trusted God with her envelope, you can trust him with your needs. God sees your faith, regardless of how much money or resources you currently have. Your faith will be honored. This isn't just about finances. It's a message that applies to every area of life: health, relationships, spiritual growth, and more. Whatever you're waiting for, keep believing and praying persistently. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. As we reflect on this prophetic message, it reminds us that God's answers often arrive when we align our actions with his principles. That's why building a financial covenant with God is so vital. It's not just about asking. It's about partnering with him, trusting his word, and standing firm on his promises to eliminate debt and restore financial peace. I've created a video guide to help you build your personalized financial covenant with God, rooted in biblical principles. This isn't just an idea. It's already transforming lives. People who use this guide are experiencing breakthroughs, divine provision, and freedom from debt. If this resonates with you, click the link in the pinned comment to join the VIP waitlist. By doing so, you'll also receive an exclusive Black Friday discount. Don't miss out. This could very well be the answer you've been praying for. Just as the pastor's wife trusted in God's timing, you can trust him with your finances. You may not know how or when he will provide, but he will. Stay faithful, take whatever steps you can, and trust that God is working on your behalf. Your miracle is on its way. How often do we find ourselves losing hope, thinking God is taking too long to answer our prayers? We grow discouraged and give up, convinced the moment has passed or that God isn't listening. If you've ever felt this way, remember, don't close the door before God has acted. If you've stopped praying for something, revisit it, reopen those prayers you may have let slip away. Only God has the authority to say no. Until then, don't stop believing. A powerful example comes from the pastor's wife, who demonstrated unshakable faith. She believed in God's timing and provision at every step, and because of her persistence, God moved on her behalf. She was provided with the exact amount she needed. She shared her story as a reminder: never close your case before God has answered. Handing an envelope to her sister, she said, "Seal it now. God has done it." The lesson here is clear: wait on God's timing. If he hasn't answered yet, keep praying and keep believing. Faith grows through perseverance. Just because the answer hasn't arrived doesn't mean it won't, or that God has forgotten you. Sometimes it's simply about trusting that he knows what's best, even when it feels like you're waiting longer than you'd hoped. Another key takeaway from her story is using evidence of God's past actions as the foundation of your faith. The pastor's wife didn't despair over her current situation. Instead, she looked back, remembered what God had already done, and declared,
You provided this before, and I know you can do it again. Her faith wasn't based on what she lacked. It was strengthened by memories of God's provision. Your past testimonies are a powerful tool. They remind you that God has been faithful before and will be faithful again. When new challenges arise, use those memories to fuel your belief. Remember, if He's done it once, He'll do it again. In this dream, the pastor's wife represents the Holy Spirit, a nurturing force of care, protection, and guidance. She symbolizes divine provision, showing that God is always present, even when we feel alone. This wasn't a message of fear or destruction. It was one of encouragement to keep praying, keep believing, and keep trusting. The dream served as a prophetic reminder that restoration is coming, and that faithfulness and perseverance lead to divine intervention. If you've had a dream like this, or if this message resonates with you, take it seriously. Present your prayers to God, keep your heart open, and don't close the case until He speaks. God's timing is never late. Trust in His perfect plan, even when it doesn't unfold according to your timeline. Take a moment to reflect on the ways God has already shown up in your life. Recall those moments of His faithfulness and let them fuel your hope for the future. If you're facing a challenge right now, don't give up. Keep moving forward in faith. And if you know someone who might benefit from this message, share it with them. You never know how God might use it to touch their life. Before you go, declare this over your life. God's covenant will break every chain of debt. Write it in the comments and let it serve as a reminder of the miracles He is capable of. Stay blessed, keep believing, and know that God's promises are always true.